This is what's great is all the people out there saying, start with wholesaling first. Dante Smith got his first deal wholesaling a Novation agreement, and he's also going to set up servicing on his first deal. That's some gangster stuff, dude.
What's up, Pace?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
Perfect.
So I finally completed my first deal. You know, I wholesaled a Novation agreement.
Amazing.
You know, so I'm really excited about that.
Hey, Dante, your first deal was wholesaling a Novation agreement.
Yes.
Okay, and I hear so many people say, you should start with wholesaling cash deals. That should be where you keep your time and energy focused. I hear my friends talk about that. I'm like, bro, everybody's trying to wholesale cash deals. Start with wholesaling novations, wholesaling sub-twos, wholesaling seller finance. Did you ever try and do wholesale with cash deals?
Yes.
How competitive is it?
Very.
It's overwhelmingly competitive. And when people out there in the industry, influencers saying, focus on wholesaling cash deals only, it's the most uneducated, like incorrect information ever. You got your first deal by wholesaling a Novation agreement. Dante.
Right.
Do you have Kelly Hanno's phone number?
No, I don't.
I'm going to give you her phone number in the side chat. And I want you to reach out to her. I want you and I to do a podcast together on Get Creative. And I want to talk about your first deal being a Novation agreement.
Wow. I would love that.
Okay. And okay. So sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. So, I got that deal done, and I'm still kind of, because it's an ongoing thing, I'm still acting as like a liaison between the buyer and the seller.
Yeah.
And so the seller is actually he has some objections about letting us log into his mortgage account, because he's a military guy, and he has like to make the payments on his mortgage, because the buyer's taking over the payments.
Yeah.
So he has objections. So I was to the mortgage, insurance, and utilities other than logging into his account.
There's two other ways to do it.
Okay.
If let's say that I call my mom right now and I go, hey mom, my mortgage I can't pay my mortgage this month. Can you run down to the bank and pay my mortgage for me? Here's the account number. My mom can walk right down to the bank, make a deposit into that account number, and it will pay the payment for me into that account number. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, that does.
So that's an easy one. Like you can literally go down to a physical bank, or you can wire money to the bank for that.
Okay.
And that seller has zero ability to intercept that money because it's being directly deposited as a payment on that house. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you're worried about that, set up a servicing company for a couple of months and have the servicing company do it for you so that you can verify on your side that the payment has been made. And it might be good practice for you, Dante, just to go through the process of setting up servicing so you can be like up to par with that process when you do your first sub-2 or you do your first seller finance, and your seller is like, well, I want this thing serviced. And I tell you all the time, make sure every sub-2 and every seller finance deal you ever do is always serviced. You will regret it if you don't do it. People are like, I want to save the $17 a month. It's so stupid. So, Dante, for me personally, I think for just the practice alone, I would go set up servicing with Evergreen, and what I'll do is I'll get the rep on to this week with Ashley, and I'll tell the rep, hey rep, let's set up let's set up your servicing for you on the live Zoom, bro. That
would be great. But the thing is, like, so I'm technically out of the deal. Like the buyer already paid me my fee. So would it still make sense to go through all of that with the buyer, or would I have to just get the buyer on board with doing that?
Why don't you just do it for the buyer, for you to learn and practice?
I would love to. I'm not objection to that. I would love to do that for him.
Okay, then call your buyer today and say, hey, my mentor says I should help you set up servicing for this for the next couple of months. Yeah, dude, I'll Venmo you money to pay for the servicing just so you go through the process of learning this without coming out of pocket to do it. And it'll provide a lot of value to everybody else in the mentorship to watch you set up servicing on a Novation agreement.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm definitely.
This is what's great. This is what's great is all the people out there saying, start with wholesaling first. Dante Smith got his first deal wholesaling a Novation agreement, and he's also going to set up servicing on his first deal. That's some gangster stuff, dude. Like think about how awesome that is. You should be so proud of yourself. Like you are a full-blown real estate dude. Like you are doing things that cash investors or wholesalers just are never going to do. Congratulations, man. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I will pay for your servicing for you. Okay. So you can keep that check all to yourself, and we'll have Evergreen come in here. We'll set it all up for you.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm gonna call the buyer today for sure.
Yeah, please do. And say, hey, I'll pay for it, bro.
Right.
Okay. Because you don't want to have him have any contention or anything there, right?
Right. Right.
Question answered or not?
Yeah, that was answered perfectly. And so does that work? Does that work for the utilities and the insurance as well?
Yep. The servicing company will pay anything you want.
Got it. That's
great. So the reason why I use servicing is because let's say, Dante, that I have a house, right? And that house has a mortgage payment. A lot of times they have an HOA. They have utilities, which I don't have my utilities paid from that, but you can, okay? It's a little cumbersome. And some servicing companies might be like, really? Like, Dante, how are we going to service this? Like, we got to wait for the bill. Like now we're your bookkeeper. Because the thing is, like, HOA is the same dollar amount. Mortgage is the same dollar amount. So it's easy for them to maintain. But if it's like you're having them do utilities, it's a little cumbersome and it might not be worth their time, but we'll ask them. Okay.
Right.
They also pay my private lenders. And then also I have liens. Like I just bought a deal from Christina Solara and Tanisha that I have an air conditioning and AC unit lien that's like $200 a month. Guess who's pulling that money out of my account and paying that? Servicing company.
Servicing. Okay.
Okay. Then I have a private lender on this deal of $19,000. So my payment every month to that private lender is like $160 a month. They pay that. I don't have an HOA on that one, but I do have a Subto loan on that one. So they pay all of those things, right? That's the beautiful thing about servicing companies is they'll take care of all that stuff. They pull it out of my bank account. They disperse the money. And then I get an email saying it's been paid. Cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I guess I'm just kind of caught up on the mechanics of it. Like do they go and get the account numbers and all of that to the different things that need to be serviced?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think it would be physically possible for them to make these payments without doing that?
No. Not at all.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So yeah, what they're going to do is there's a sheet. Okay. There's a servicing company sheet. I want to pull it up, but I also don't want to sometimes I want to pull things up for you guys and I just feel bad having to search for them because do you think my team copies me on every email?
Yes.
They don't.
Oh, they don't.
Oh my gosh. If they did, I would karate chop them. So I don't want to be copied on everything. I want to be kept out of it for the most part, right? So Westar will send me, here's the automatic withdrawal request form to come out of whoever's bank account. There's my signature. I didn't even know my bank. See what I did? I signed the document, but I didn't fill it out. Why did I do that?
I'm not sure.
Because I don't know the account numbers. I'm not going to mess with that stuff. I just signed it and then sent it back to Tony and go figure it out. I'm not doing this.
Okay.
Okay. So like, that's why I don't get copied on all that stuff. I'm scaled past a lot of this.
Right.
But like all of these documents happen and you just don't see them. And so anytime somebody goes, I'm confused on the mechanics, like it's not that you're confused on the mechanics. It's just that you've never seen it. Right. So what we'll do is this week, we will show you the mechanics. It's obviously they have to have a document to withdraw it from my bank account. They have to have a document that you fill out of where you want the payments to go. They verify it. They send you a final invoice. Hey, setup fees like $75. ongoing fee is $27 a month. Are you okay with that? Yes, boom. And then the next month, magically, it comes out of your bank account.
Wow.
And then magically you get an email, and magically the seller gets an email, and magically everything's taken care of and paid for, right?
Right.
So there you go. Do you need to set up servicing on this Novation agreement? The answer is no, you don't. But the reason I'm suggesting you do it so that you can go through the practice of feeling, going through that, right?
Right. Right.